Howdy folks, John from Muse Guitars here. You know, people ask me all the time, hey John from Muse Guitars, how do you get that interesting bevel on your guitars? And well, to be honest, people don't ask me that all the time. But they usually ask me if I'm still running. And then I say, no, not really, not so much anymore. I used to run a lot. I say I spend all my time building guitars now. And, you know, and then I joke that guitar building makes you fat, but it doesn't really. Food makes you fat, I guess. Anyway, I got coffee here. And there's nothing in it, so the coffee won't make me fat. All right, enough about that. But I'm here to show you how I put the bevels in my guitars. And I'm going to preface that by saying the most important thing you can do is have a plan. Before you take any tools to the wood, always have a plan. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of materials. Ask me how I know. To that end, I recommend having templates. You can buy templates, which is a good idea. I've bought templates for things in the past. You can make your own templates. I've made a lot of templates. I'm not a big fan of making templates. I want to make the end product and make guitars. But sometimes, you know, spending 5 minutes planning it can be worth the world, and it can make or break a project. So I make templates, and I've made a lot of templates. I'll start with, this is a drawing for the Superconductor. I'll start with paper, and I'll put it all on paper. This is an old calendar, so I'll start on paper. Just draw a center line and start drawing the guitar. If you don't know where to start, put a guitar that you like down on there and trace around it, and then just move some of the lines, right? Move it with pen or pencil. And then end up, once you see a line you like, just put it in black marker. And then what I did was tape this down onto a piece of MDF, and I poked it with anything sharp. I used this, but you could poke it with anything sharp. And then cut it out and smooth it real nice. And this can be your final template for the guitar that you want. And this is the Superconductor, and it's a smash up between Fender Meteora and Stratocaster and a Telecaster, with a couple of nods to Paul Reed Smith. So I know those are all things that are out there, but listen, Leo Fender pretty much perfected the electric guitar twice with the Telecaster and the Stratocaster. So what you see here, this bevel is the nod to Paul Reed Smith that I'm talking about, these bevels here. And that's what this video was about, after I sort of went on and on about planning. But if you see this dash line here, this was where I planned to put the bevel, and you can see that's where the bevel goes on this guitar. Pretty close facsimile. I don't think I've ever used that word. All right. So there you have it. That's my importance of having a plan discussion. So what I did was made a separate template for the bevel. And this looks like a goofy guitar, but it's not really the outline of the guitar. It's just the outline of where the bevel is going to end on the top of the guitar. So what I'll do is put this on the center line. Always have a center line on your templates, on your guitar bodies, on your guitar necks. Everything emanates from the center line. Más importante. That means very important. Okay. So we scribe around with a pencil, and I love these little mechanical pencils. I bought a pack of them, and I have like 8 of them in my basement shop and in my garage shop. All right. So we go all around it, and just go ahead and put it in there. Don't be afraid. And that's going to be where my bevel stops on this guitar. And then, now, how deep is it going to go down this way? Well, my plan is to put it a 1/2 inch deep all the way around, and then it's going to taper towards the top, where this sort of tapers off the end. And so I'll start here, and I know that my top plate is 1/4 inch, so I'll just sort of double that for my finished depth, and that will give me my 1/2 inch. And I'm just holding my finger against the edge and using that for a stop, and that'll give me a relatively even line all the way around the thing that I can reference for the bottom of my bevel around the edge. And I'll just continue this line all the way around. Like so. Right. This blank ended up a little bit smaller than my template, so I got a little extra sanding to do at the end. That's why you see some of the glue and some of the bumps over here. But we'll sand all that out. All right. Now, I want to taper this in. That's going to go about like that. And like that. And we can erase this little bit of line. All right. And this is Western Red Cedar. This is walnut. All right. So, now, what are you going to take this material off with? Basically, what I want to do, if you could imagine a straight line from this point to this point, I want to remove that material, right? All the way around the thing. So, what you can do is hog it away with one of these, right? They sell all sorts of these things at the store, online, but these make quick work of removing material, but you have to be very careful with it. First of all, it's really dangerous. Second of all, it moves material really fast. You can ruin a project in a heartbeat. So you always have to be very conscious when you're taking material off with one of these. And the other way to do it is on a belt sander. I have an oscillating belt sander, one of those rigid ones. You can get them at Home Depot. I think there's other companies that sell them, but I got mine from Home Depot, and it works really well. And I'll show you how I do a couple of those things really quick. We'll start with clamping the guitar down. The other thing is when you're using that, when you're using this thing to clear wood, you have to secure your piece really well because it can go flying across the shop. All right, let me show you how I do that. Put some danger protection in. All right. Okay, so I'm going to continue this and be back in a minute. That's what that looks like. That's Jane. She's about this high. Hey, Jane.
It's John. Hi. How are you?
Uh-oh. All right. So there's what it looks like once I hog all that meat away and before I take it to the belt sander. I'm going to show you the belt sanding part of it now. All right. Well, thanks for sticking around. All right, so you saw how gnarly that looked once I removed all that meat with that nasty grinder over there. That thing with the red top right there. All right, so there's what that bevel will look like right off of the belt sander. And then we'll just clean that up. There's the edge. So that's how you do it. So there's the before. That's how it looks after you grind it. And then the belt sander smooths it out. And what's important is this line stays nice and straight. And I can straighten that even more by hand. Just by hitting it by hand a little bit and taking a DA to it. So there you have it. That's how the bevel goes in. So remember, any machine is a smoke machine if you don't use it right. And this is John from Thomas Muse signing out. And if you like this, press the like button. And if you want to see more like this, press subscribe. And I'll keep putting out videos on how I build guitars. All right, peace out.